Good morning, good evening. It depends where you are. I'm Irene Wong. I have been a pro-am ballroom dancer for 17 years and also the owner for Everything Ballroom. Our goal is to help ballroom dancers to have a wonderful journey. And if you like what we're doing, please give us thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, Everything Ballroom. Today, I'm so excited to have Gert and Kirsti Roslender to be our guests. They are the owner of Aurelia Dance Studio in Westfield, Indiana. They are also certified professional and judges. They have been judging a lot of competition and coach countless top level dancers. So they also represent Estonia 5 times at the European and World Championships. They're also co-organizer for the Riverfront Dance Festival. So without further ado, and I'm sure we can learn a lot from them. So let's introduce our guest today, Gert and Kirsti Roslender. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us. We're happy to be part of your channel and share our whatever we have learned with the years.
Great, great, great. So, you've been from the Europe for a while before you come into the US. So maybe let's start with what do you see the difference between the Europeans and the US ballroom dance world?
I think the main thing is it's just the way or how early kids are starting to dance in Europe. We started late. I think we were around 8, 9, 10 or somewhere there. But usually people start 5, 6 year olds. When we had our own club, that's where we started. Like 5 was a little bit early, but you want to start as early as you can. So that's one big difference. Now it has been changing in US a lot. We have lots of, especially in the bigger cities, lots of kids dancing, and it's like even last time when we were charging Emerald, there's so much good dancing from little kids. So that was really nice to see.
Yeah, I've also found that it seems like the US don't have a lot of boys, don't you think?
Yes, that's just the part. I mean, I guess it's everywhere, but in Europe, the overall culture is different. So, like before I started to dance ballroom, I was doing folk dance. So this kind of part has big role in I think many European countries. So people value that a lot. I eventually grow up in a country. I was just doing all kinds of sports and lots of hard kind of farm work. And then when our first coach came to our little area and made like a trial, then my parents were right away like, there you go. That's even what I wanted or not. So that was, so anyway, that's
Yeah,
very important.
singing, dancing, musical instruments. I think in many cultures in Europe, it's very important, more like less in United States, but many other cultures really
And I think that
thinks that it's very important education for the children.
Yeah. US is sports, but that's good. So
yeah,
hopefully we'll
things are
see more
changing.
young kids. Yeah. Hopefully
Yeah,
we'll see more young.
that's why it's so nice to see like last 10 years how things are shifting in United States, and there is so much more. I can see the young people dancing with good work habits and good skills, and doing so good job that I don't see that big difference anymore. So I can see a lot of good dancing, and I can see such a great future for United States, seeing all those young people dancing.
Hopefully some parents out there listening and say, bring your children in such a beautiful dance sports, for that as well. So this is wonderful. I see maybe the difference on that. But as a pro-am dancer, I'm a pro-am dancer. You guys have been judging a lot. What you guys look for when you judge? That's also always the key questions when we compete in the dance floor, right?
Yes. Do you want to start?
No.
No. um, yes, we have our opinions. We've been together a long time, and that's sometimes we talk how after competitions, this and that, and we kind of see how she sees her way and I see my way, and so it's interesting. For me, uh, very important is, especially pro-am, I think, is to make sure uh, they have good fundamentals. Like when I teach myself, I can spend extra year or two for bronze dancers, but so when they are ready, they will quickly move through the silver, and they have the base to develop. So sometimes people do that too early and enter, and that's what, like patience or time, like, oh, I don't have much time, or I want to do this and that. So it's tricky, but for me, yes, good fundamentals that come with basic understanding of body position, or like know your body, know how you hold your body, and because there's always that form and function. I kind of like to say often for my people, it it's kind of important how we hold ourselves and what we do with that then. So to see anyway, so kind of that's one big thing for me. And then also, yes, your basic technique and how you do your footwork, and how do you let's say as a female students, how you able to follow partner or your teacher, and how all that teamwork works together as well. So, but it's relatively simple, not easy, right? But simple principles that we have to master, and then and that's kind of main way where I look. What do you say?
I say that it's very different. Depends who you are teaching. When you go with somebody beginner and going to the pro-am, the people, depending on their, level of dancing and the age, you look differently. Then you get some young couple who is just amateurs, 20 years old, and you have totally different what you would like them to, be able to accomplish. So yeah, but it's always about, I agree, it's for us, it's always been a technique. The floor, footwork, how you're using your feet to get everything into your body and movement to your body through your feet. And then, of course, the partnership and the music and how you're using the music. But it's like a different level for different, depends where you are.
So for me, right, and I totally understand what you're saying, but I tend to be impatient. So when I start, oh, so the rounds are so boring. So we're pro-am, so we're trying to have fun. So I totally understand. Now I'm going back to the basic after how many years of that, because I realized that without a basic, I really cannot perform to the level that I feel that you can actually dancing, right? So I go back around the circle, coming back, get to your point, said the basics so important, but when I started, I just want to have fun. So I jump.
Well, that's
Yes.
what there is a very fine line, because we would like to perform, we would like to be artistic, we would like to give our emotions, but again, you really cannot accomplish it. It's like I'm saying, it's like house. You need a fundament, first the basic to foundation to build up from that something bigger. But it's always very hard to keep that balance, even if you're already in higher level. So you constantly move on every level. So you constantly, maybe sometimes too much thinking about technique and losing some creativity, and at the same time, maybe next moment you're too much just performing and forgetting something fundamentally important. So it's always up and downs.
So as a judge or teacher, you guys coach a lot of, dancers. What will you be the advice to get to that, find the balance, right? So we all, like everybody said, oh, we don't, especially poems, right? We are not professional. This is a lot of money and a lot of times. And what would you help us to advise us to get the best out of the both world?
It's tricky. Like Kirsti said, it depends on your personality, and depends on what kind of teacher you find, how you match together, how you get the best out of that. I mean, it's easy to say be patient. Easy to say. It's not that easy to be patient. We all know that. And then, or practice, like practice, put some time into practice. I think this is one of the big things, because it's often when you dance, let's say if my students dance with me, it's easy for them and everything feels so, okay, makes sense. And then when I ask them to do on their own, it's like, oops. It's what was it like, what did we do, but if you can start putting in some practice, and it doesn't even matter always that you do, oh yeah, there we go, like, oh, I don't want to practice because I don't want to do anything wrong. And I think doing something wrong is not bad, because that's how we learn what wrong is and what not to do. So if I learn to do anything, I am developing myself. So it's wrong, right? I'm developing myself. I can't keep myself in a perfect place and just zoom that I will take off and everything is perfect. So I think mistakes are good. We learn. We and then we know. Otherwise, we wouldn't know. And especially like physically, what, like, move like this. This is wrong. Move like this. This is right. How to yes. So I think that will be.
Yeah, I feel like repetition, and doing it over and over and again and again, and get that muscle memory and the practice. I feel like very often people coming, they take lessons, I'm telling them what I know, but me telling them doesn't make them to do it. So, and to get from them knowing what it should be and understanding, get their body to really do it is a long process. And you have to be very patient, and it takes a long time to really do it, what I'm trying them to tell.
Yeah, so that is so important too, right? Because like what you said, actually I do afraid because I learned the wrong way, and actually I relearn it because I spent 4 years in one studio. Once I come back to our and say, oh my God, all what I learned was wrong, seems like. So it then I becomes a little bit worried, and I doing it right. And then what if I have my muscle memory in the wrong way? So does it take more time for me to relearn to the right way? But like what you said, you seems feel like it's better to learn it wrong way in practice than not learning it, not doing it.
Not to practice at all. Yes, because you when you're practicing, you're really trying to put all the angles together, and it's not just that you might be practicing something wrong, but you're really challenging your brain and your mind and body to do it. So, and that's I think way more valuable. And yes, if you're doing something wrong for a long time, but there's dancing, it's so tricky. It's sometimes yes, my students always say like, oh, why haven't you told me that? And so this and that, like before, where I pretty much kind of repeat myself often. So, but whenever the light bulb goes on,
Yes.
it's always celebration in so in a
And
way.
sometimes, what is funny is that people coming back 2 years later and saying, "Oh, that's what you
That's
meant."
what you meant.
So it's a long process, but even if you do something wrong, again, I think the challenge is to find the good mentors and to really be on the right track. Yes, we get people that been getting not that good knowledge, and it is, if you've been doing something wrong for a long time, it is hard to relearn things. So of course, if you get somebody from the start and they starting to get the right knowledge from the start, of course it's much easier. And you make a bunch of mistakes trying to get better, and you have a challenging your mind and your physical body. Of course, it's harder to do anything if you already have bad habits. But again, everything is your body will learn. That's what we do.
Great. Thank you so much for that. So now I'm gonna get back to practice because I'm always find that reason. I'm traveling, I'm overseas, I can't practice. I don't have a teacher to practice. So now, thank you. I won't have that excuse. So that's good for me. So for practice, do we need to set a routine? Just practice the basic steps. So what is the best way to practice as we practice?
I mean, first thing, you would practice the details or areas that you just had lesson on. So you're trying to improve topics that you learned. I don't think you need depends what dance what dance style you're dancing. It's good to have a little bit space for ballroom, less space for Latin. You want to really practice basic simple things. You on a flip coin, we flip side, you want to, like, okay, what's my routine, have a little bit more confidence or knowledge about the routine, that you don't have to worry about it. But I think the main things are just relatively
Basic.
small things to practice, and that you don't need much,
Just
because
a basic. You
your
mean the
body is
basic.
right where you are. You practice your rise, connected with the sways, learn how your body, what you go through. It's
And very often when
simple.
we're teaching, I think people has a hard time to understand even the muscles. That we saying, okay, use this or turn this. So, they even don't know those muscles. So they never even use those. That point, it's almost very often you just have to learn to know your own body and how to move your body to create something. So through your feet, through the floor, into your body, rotations, your hips, your back, how you're using it. So very often arm works, arm styling, you very often doesn't even need that much room. There is more to learn to know your own body.
So the best approach seems like just ask the teacher maybe to do, of course, knowledge about a teacher to give you maybe a small movement. So you go back to practice, maybe each time. So that probably will be a best approach then.
Yes, absolutely.
And we've been over the years, like creating some kind of exercises that we think that if you do those exercises every day, that would, help you with different, body movements and your balance, or, we have different things, what we do to give the exercises. And if you keep doing them, it helps you to be, better.
Can we ask you to help us on the exercise maybe in the next interview? Just give us all these little exercise that we can do.
Yes, we
I
have.
mean,
Wonderful. I'm
We
gonna
will
ask
be
for
glad
more
to
video.
share.
So I will need that because I want that to get that exercise or whatever routine that we do, right? So I get that is a yes.
yes,
Yes.
that is a yes. We can do that.
Great. So now I know that we have some question on the on online. So I'm gonna go really quick on that questions that people ask about, Kirsti, sometime you're in the registration desk and we have a lot of people go in the registration and then at the competition perspective, what do you think anything that we as a pro-am dancers can help make your registration process smoother as as a staff? You work on that.
I do it because I like to communicate with people, and I feel like it's a different level that you get when you're teaching people or when you are judging. It's totally different way to communicate. I feel like in registration, um, I would like to have professional pro-am dancers, teachers that will come up and will take very good care of their students. So that, all the tickets and your numbers and everything, that they will take care that the students doesn't have to worry about it.
Good. So make sure the teacher listening.
let
So that's what
let the
Kirsti
teachers
tell you.
let the teachers take care of it. Yes.
So,
Teacher, take
but
care for
again, if
yourself.
somebody have questions, of course, we are happy to answer. But yeah, I feel like if the teachers will take care of their and give a good service for their students, then they will be good taken care of.
Wonderful. I will make sure our teacher do that. So, Gert, as you are the co-organizer of the River Dance Festival with Bill Spart, can you tell us a little bit about this? It is a one-day competition, right?
Yes, it is a one-day competition that takes place on the second weekend in January every year, second weekend in January. So it's one of the first competitions of the year. So we yes, we get
We are
everything
starting the year.
getting everything going. But it's a one-day competition. We started 15 years ago, which just had the anniversary last year, and our goal has been always to provide service and experience for professionals or students to the highest level. Even if it's one day, we try to have as much room for dancing, or as good as music or decoration or vendors or judges or anything we can do, like what big competitions do, so that they still get that experience even on that one day. Yes, it's physically a little bit harder, but same time you'll get everything done in one day. And so yep, it's a second weekend in January in Columbus, Ohio, downtown. Everyone's welcome. um,
Yes, perfect. So one day actually is good for a lot of people. So we don't need to take too many time off and then get our dances in. So, as vendors, it's a little bit hard because we set up and tear down is hard. But for dancers, I think this is really good. So you can try out. You don't need to take a lot of time off and then keep ourselves heated, not cool down and then warm up again, cool down and warm up again. So I think this
yeah.
will be great. Columbus, Ohio, my son go to school there. It's amazing place. So
Yes.
definitely I think it will be a great place for people to experience it, and local, please come. And
Yeah.
and I know Bill and then you guys will be a great host for it.
Yes, it's Columbus is really nice dance community, really good studios, and good relationships between the studios, and it's really nice, and Bill's experience, and it's really it's been good to us.
Wonderful. We're hoping that more people come and enjoy and have more fun. And
Yes.
in soon, next year, January, second week, Columbus,
Wonderful.
Ohio. Remember that. So thank you so much for your time for my question. I know there's some question live. Ellie, could you please, I know that Sandy has the questions and you can read out their questions.
Yeah, Sandy Marino asks, so which is more has a higher importance? Is it technique or performance? Which one is more important?
Technique or performance? That's a tricky one. What exactly do we mean under performance? If you have a good technique, you will perform better. So maybe the question also about our artistic side, like to be not to be maybe question that way. You don't want to be too technical. So when we're dancing, technique has to support the end goal to move, to express yourself. So you want that. Sometimes people, I used to have tendency to be very technical, but I learned the other side of that, and how things go together. Um, so there's no, I mean, it's such a fine balance between different subjects. So
I almost feel like it's a puzzle. You cannot have only technique and look good. You need to have the music. You need to have that, movement and artistic part and performing part on you. But at the same time, you really cannot perform and look great if you don't have enough, no technique. So it's like one supports the other. And I think it's only comes and looks nice when there is both involved. But yes, when I will say something, if there is like somebody who's only out for something and there's nothing going on, then yes, I would prefer somebody who is technically better, but maybe a little bit more calmer. But that's my personal opinion, because I'm
So
thinking
Go
if
ahead.
they have technical fundamental knowledge, they can build something up. But if they don't have it, then nothing happens. But that's me.
Yeah. I actually, as a pro-am dancer, sometimes we feel like we want to do more. We feel that it's a performance. And when the time goes by now, after 17 years, I really realize that I cannot have the performance, the stretch without my foot supporting me, right? So that is a beginner pro-am dancers that I always say I have performance. I always say, ha ha, he. It's all on the top part. But when I look back on my video and then, actually they don't look that good because we feel like doing it. I think that's what Kirsti and Gert was talking about. In order to really look good at the video, I always hate looking at my video. I realize why. Because we didn't
we
perform as
all same way. We're the same way. It's like looking back in your videos, like why and this and that. So yes, that's the way of how we
But
develop.
again, if you do not enjoy what you're doing and if you don't go out for it, then nothing happens.
Yeah, so I feel like, to me as a pro-am dancer, I think we need to enjoy it first. Um, as a dancer, right? We feel the music and dance and perform, and then the technique come through when we practice. It will come eventually. I feel as long as we keep working on it, it will come, right? But a lot of people that I know, because they focus so much on winning, and they focus on that so much, and then they don't really enjoy it, and they don't give themselves enough time, like what you say in early on, the patience to practice and get better, and then they will quit. So I've been here for 17, 18 years, and I met so many of them. So that's why I'm trying to say, Sandy, just do what you're doing. You're doing great. Enjoy it. And it just keep doing what you're doing. Practice, keep doing. You will get better, and then you'll be there. So that's what I'm kind of say.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's a process. You constantly, you're getting better, one thing or the other. You one moment trying to be more going out, the next moment you're working with your technique, and like you said, for me, the main thing is be mentally trying to challenge your body and your mind, and not to think when you're going to compete who's around you, who is the other competitors. am I going to make a final? Am I going to win that competition? That's, if you could put that all on the side, and I know it's very hard when you're on that ballroom there and all those other competitors, but if you could just focus on yourself and what your teacher been telling you and what focus on what you're supposed to, what you've been working for so many months and so many weeks, and execute it. I think that's the main thing, the focus, and be mentally in the right place for that competition, and that's not the placement.
One thing I think with those questions, or what I have been learning while teaching, is that students often don't put things together, like different angles, different subjects. So we talk about technique, and that kind of stays, let's say, in a footwork or somewhere, and that's where our teacher's job is to kind of understand what students, how they understand things and how they see it. So that's very easy, like, oh, this is how I move my body, or this is how I use my feet, or this is how my expression is, but doesn't always go together. We do them as separate subjects, and we don't always connect them, and that's where, if we don't see it as a whole, then whatever my technique is, if it doesn't serve the bigger picture, then it's kind of useless. So it's
Hopefully,
tricky.
it is a tricky. I heard a lot of people would say, like, you actually repeat all the judges saying almost, is a technique and performance, like what you said. It's really is artistic, right? Technique and artistic actually hand in hand. So sometimes you need to keep on the artistic side. Sometimes you go on the technical side. So you need to make sure we have both. Dancing is art, so let's feel the arts, with the feeling plus the technique. You're painting, you're thinking about painting, you still need to know the stroke, to do it. And then the artistic side of that, everybody have their own creative artistic side. That is what, is hard to define. It must be this way or that way because the arts, right? So technique, the stroke is everybody the same, but the artistic side, everybody can be different. So when you judging, higher level, you judge your technique wise, your stroke very well, you're proportionally right, but you also see whether you have artistic side. So hopefully that help explain what Sandy's your question.
Yes.
Cool. Thank you. Any other question, Ellie? Do you have we have time for one more questions, and we'll need to close this.
Yes, I do have a question. It's my own question. So when, as a poem dancer, we practice with your teacher for a long time, trying to get a good frame, good technique, good footwork. And then next week, I go to a social dance with an amateur dancer, and he is the leader. And then all my technique, all my footwork, everything is gone. So should I avoid social dancing if I compete pro-am?
Yes, there is little bit of that. That can happen, absolutely. And in one side, I would say we love dancing. So now, if I'm crazy about competing, I might consider not maybe dancing socially, but we all dance because we love to dance, and that's so important. So I wouldn't take it away, the joy, if it's a joy, if you enjoy it. And there are ways, certain things that I have this same question coming up with my students, and they same way. But hey, if I go and da, then I try to tell them that you can still hold your own way you keep your body, keep your core, the way you move through your feet and legs. You should be able to hold on to some of it. But time shows that it's not that easy. But another good question, and I don't have a
I would say
answer.
keep dancing and enjoying your social dancing, because that comes for your heart. That's what you love. And like a female, I can say, it takes a lot of strength, yes, to hold your own when your partner doesn't support you. And the hardest is, of course, the ballroom when you're body to body, and that's very hard if your partner doesn't hold, or breaks the sides, doesn't collect. It is harder. But like in smooth or in Latin rhythm, you have so much more freedom. Then it's much more easier to hold your own and try to do what you've been told and try to practice what you've been told to do. But definitely, of course, it's much more challenging than you have your professional partner that will help you through everything.
Yeah. So my 2 cents, right? I am a pro-am dancer. I said, if you enjoy dancing, go off and have fun and forget about just thinking about your dancing, but not as a practice. Okay. And that is it. So, but, and just, okay, you have fun, listen to music, whatever. But like what, Gert and Kirsti said, and do try to perform a little bit in your own. It's not easy, but I would say still go for it if you are having fun and enjoying it. So
And then
Yes.
go back to the studio and practice alone and think about what your teacher been telling you to do, but don't leave the fun out. So
Yeah.
good idea. So go for the social and then come back and then make sure you get your own form and things again.
Yes. Work hard and then party hard.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. This is very helpful. So I know it's a lot of good questions, and hopefully they'll help some of our poem dancers. And thank you so much and for your time.
Yes,
If you
that's
like,
our pleasure.
thanks
Thanks
for
for
having us. We
if
will
you like what we're doing, please give us thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, Everything Ballroom.